Hi, I'm Michael Conlon, the chair of the ASMC PPBE Reform Task Force.
And I'm Rich Brady, the Chief Executive Officer of the American Society of Military Comptrollers.
And Rich, I'm so glad you're here today because I want to share some good news with the entire membership of the ASMC. We're about to launch a survey of the members on the topic of how to modernize PPBE. I can't think of anybody, any community that knows more about PPBE than the members of the ASMC, and I can't think of anybody that's better positioned to contribute that insight and help give us target vectors as we look at how to modernize the process.
You're absolutely right, Michael. As I've gone around and visited our chapters and our members over the past 6 to 9 months, many of them approached me to talk about PPB reforms. They're very interested in it and they've got a lot of good ideas about it. I've also had the opportunity to meet with the Legislative Commission on PPB reform. They're in the problem framing stage right now and they're very interested in data as well because they want to make sure that their recommendations, and we want to make sure our recommendations are rooted in data and rooted on what our members are seeing at both the tactical and operational level when it comes to PPBE.
Now that's music to my ears because, as you know, I was the first chief data officer at the DoD and I'm pretty much a data nerd. This is also wonderful. Let's bring some evidence to bear here in the spirit of the Evidence-Based Policymaking Act. We're going to ask about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we all know that in any large organization you get a little bit of each. We're also going to ask about what kinds of things that are just harder than they need to be in today's way of doing business and what takes too long to get done. Now, we've talked about this before. Speed to value becomes so important in great power competition, which is where we are today.
Yeah, we absolutely want to hear from our members on what's working well and what's not working well, because you have very unique insights, and we want to make sure we're incorporating that into these final recommendations that we come up with and that we have discussions with the Legislative Commission about. And we're going to make sure with these series of surveys that they're properly incentivized so that we make sure that we get maximum input and participation from you, our members of ASMC. We're looking at giving a free 1-year membership, a drawing for those people who participate in the survey will be entered into, and we may actually, depending on the number of participants that we have completing surveys, we may have a series of 1-year membership offerings.
Excellent. That's great. So folks, you have some direct personal benefit from this, but also your ability to contribute and make your day-to-day work life better. This will be a series. Now, we're not going to survey you to death. We're going to be very paced about this. But we'll vector in where you tell us it's best to vector in for modernization opportunities. We will keep each survey tolerably short so that we get the best information and the least time impact for you. Watch out for those. Those are going to be coming soon directly from the ASMC. I'm looking forward to getting it done. As you know, the task force spent a bunch of time talking about all the survey questions last week in one of our working sessions, and we've got some really powerful questions for you. So start thinking about your answers now.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you all.